All right. Hey, guys.
Hey,
Karen
what's
and I
up, everybody?
hopped on here a little late, trying to make sure I had my stuff together.
I'm pulling up the video so that you can see comments.
Oh, yes. Awesome. I know I have several people up. We have somebody.
Hey, as y'all are coming on, let us know where you're watching from.
Yes. And we're actually using StreamYard today, which is like a newer platform. And if you guys want to comment and let us know it's you, because if you don't, you have to accept the link from StreamYard, and then it'll let us see your actual name when you comment so we can address you, answer your specific questions. So I'm not just saying, hey, Facebook user, this is my answer to that.
Yeah, I'm excited. Stephanie had made a post about people. What are your biggest struggles with trying to get healthier and lose weight? And she said she got comments, and we wanted to hop on here and share some tips with you guys.
For sure.
Stephanie and I have been known each other since I think it was 7th grade now.
Yes, back in the day. One of my first best friends.
Yeah.
So, at least in the middle school years when it's the roughest anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys will just comment below, tell us where you're at, where you're watching from. We'd love to say hi. Oh, hi, Megan. Hi, Carter. Hi, Brittany. Give everybody like another minute or two, and then we're just going to kind of get into a few things. Hey, Christy. So excited to chat with you guys.
Me too. I get passionate about this.
My mom better be getting on here, or she's going to be in trouble.
I'm going to share to our group.
All right, perfect. All right, guys. Let's see. Everybody had their dinner tonight? Mine's still sitting here. I don't want to be rude and eat it on camera, but sweet potato tater tots and a hamburger with no bun. Pretty excited for that.
Oh, I love the sweet potato, sweet potato fries. My favorite lately was we found sweet potato waffle fries.
Yes, I actually had those tonight. All right, guys. Well, we're just going to get into a few things, and as you get on, just let us know you're here. All right. So first, I just kind of want to go over myself. A lot of you guys already know me clearly, but I have been on a weight loss journey since January 4th of this year. As of today, I've actually lost 38 pounds. And my goal is to lose 42 more at this point. So I'm almost halfway there. I can honestly say that this is the most success I've ever seen in trying to lose weight. I've spent the last 4 years trying to at first lose 15, 20 pounds, then lose 30 pounds. And, it just continued to go up until I was 80 pounds overweight, where I'd like to be. And I stopped and started a million things and tried and tried and tried, and nothing was really working for me. So let's just jump into a few things that kind of, I feel like, have pushed me. And I'm sure Karen, she's also on a weight loss journey, helped push her through, or a different point of view of seeing things. Because I feel like a lot of times with weight loss, like we get in this singular mindset in terms of like, okay, this is what I have to do to lose weight. And this is the only thing that I can do to lose weight. And if I don't do these things, I'm not going to be successful. For example, I'll just jump into one of the big things that people commented about was like food. What do I eat? How do I eat? Like emotional eating, stuff like that. And it just, the diet portion of it. I used to, when I was like 20, in my 20s, early 20s, I was like, oh, all I need to do is eat a salad for lunch, nothing else, drink tons of water, have like half an apple with my, breakfast, and like just like one egg, and I'm going to be so skinny. And I was. But was
It
I
works when you're young.
yeah, but was I really full? Like, was my body really getting the things that it needed? No. And now I actually hate salad because I traumatized myself into eating them so much at one point in my life. So that's not how you want to approach food.
Right. So many people have a mindset around losing weight and like diet cultures. Like I can't have anything I want once I start trying to eat healthier, or all the healthy food tastes bad. Like that's not true.
That's
Like
not true.
there's some really, really good food, and my favorite meals, our family's favorite meals are always actually.
Yeah. Hey, Beth. Oh, yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is like, one thing I really learned was in the past like 4 years, we'll just go like that, because that's where I really started to gain a lot of the weight, is like, I literally tried to cut everything out. I was like, okay, I have to be so strict. I have to only clean eat. I have to only do this. I dabbled in keto, like dabbled in no carb, just a little bit of everything, just trying everything, never sticking to anything. And I would always find myself within a couple of weeks binge eating all over again, because I had completely cut every single thing out of my life that I was used to eating or that I really enjoyed eating. And I think the biggest game changer for me this time is what I've done is I have a donut if I want a donut. I go to Mexican and I just don't get the rice and beans, but I get my chimichanga and I have some chips and queso. It doesn't have to be, all or nothing when it comes to food. And I think appreciating those moments when you do eat those things is super important too, because you're like, this is really good. Like, I love how this tastes in your brain, instead of like just scarfing it down and then you want more. I think that's a big thing in your mind that you have to turn on when it comes to those moments where you do allow yourself to have the things that taste really good to you.
For sure. And whenever we tell ourselves like we absolutely can't have this item, it makes us want it even more. Like, so don't deprive yourself. Allow yourself that in moderation, but and find healthier alternatives to things that you like. There's so many healthy alternatives.
Yeah, like we were just talking about the sweet potato tots, sweet potato fries, sweet potato waffle fries. Like, I'm not a big French fry eater, but there are plenty of people that are, and this is like a good compromise for that. Something that I eat a lot of now, like I do eat chicken, but I've always been like more of a chicken eater myself. But I eat like salmon and Brussels sprouts, broccoli, squash, zucchini, like pan fried in olive oil. That kind of stuff is it's really good to me if it's made the right way. Like, I don't have to look at vegetables as disgusting. In fact, broccoli is one of those superfoods that gives you a ton of energy. And a lot of people don't include things like that in their diet, and they wonder why they have no energy or they can't do this and that. What are you eating?
Or I'm living on like processed foods, a lot of heavily processed stuff. And then it doesn't feel good. You will feel like your whole body will feel better when you're putting in the good stuff, like for real. I can tell a difference in how my stuff, like I'll be doing good, and I may have a bad meal and enjoy it, but most of the time it's not worth like the stomach upsetness after, the feeling bloated. So I do keep it in moderation. Nobody wants to feel like that all the time.
So like I told you guys what I did at Mexican, I get the chimichanga with no rice and beans. I do my queso and chips. But like last week, I decided to go a little wild. And I was like, I'm going to get the rice and beans. Oh my gosh. I regretted it so much. At like 2 a.m, I was awake. My stomach was growling. If I could have like stomached the idea of actually gagging myself, I probably would have. Because I just felt so miserable. And I'm like, oh, I will never do that again, because I am not that person anymore. I don't have to eat to that extent anymore. I actually follow a lady. She does. She said it's like called Losing 100 Pounds with Corinne Crabtree, and she said you should be proud of the fact that you don't have to eat that much.
Yes.
Like, don't look at it as, oh, I eat like a bird. Look at it as like, my stomach doesn't require me to like eat 3 baskets of chips and have all that stuff in the Mexican restaurant plus 2 margaritas. You know, be glad you
Yeah.
finally have some restraint, girl. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the Mexican restaurant is the hardest place to
It
have restraint.
is. I feel like me and most of my friends, that's the one place we can go absolutely insane and eat way too much stuff way faster than we really need to.
And me and my husband still go. Like that's one of our favorite places to get away. I love margaritas. We like to go there and have the chips and dip. And I don't have the chimichanga, but I switched from having these dishes that are like smothered in cheese because I get chips and queso. I have plenty of the cheese and chips.
Oh, yeah.
But I started getting fajitas, and I just eat the steak and the peppers, and it's good. It's really
That's
good.
definitely healthy, and I should
Yeah,
try that
not
option.
terrible.
But I guess it's like my way of compromising, and I have heard
Yeah.
they do that, and that's really, that's really great. Um, I will say another thing too, like when it comes to alcohol, because I've seen a lot of people talk about, oh, well, I like to drink and stuff like that. There are so many, like, I think you talked about it on the other live with Natasha, like there are so many like seltzers out there. My low carb drink is like vodka with like a no sugar cranberry juice. And that's just like what I go with.
Yeah.
Just something simple, which I'm not a huge drinker, but every once in a while I do crave it, or whatever.
I'll do the same thing with rum and cranberry juice, the light cranberry juice. I've noticed I used to drink a lot of sugary drinks. Margarita was my go-to.
Oh yeah, sangria.
Now, if I can get a skinny margarita that's not a sugary, that's better. But I noticed I was having like extremely, extremely bad hangovers. And I was drinking rum and cranberry juice. But it wasn't it was just regular cranberry juice. It had so much sugar in it. Like, I think the hangovers were from the sugar. I was drinking all this sugar that I wasn't used to. And when I switched to the sugar-free, I didn't get hangovers with my rum and cranberry anymore.
Oh, and let me tell you, another thing that I'm like, my friends that are like the closest to me know this is like the hugest thing ever, that I don't drink Red Bull anymore. Speaking of sugary drinks, because
Oh,
I lived on a 20-ounce Red Bull, and then probably like by the mid-afternoon, a 12-ounce Red Bull, or like 3 12 ounces. Like it was insane. And it was just like a go-to. And I was actually at the Dollar General today on my lunch, and I was grabbing a couple of things. And like the old habit of just like, oh, when I see a Red Bull in the container by the register is to grab one. I thought about it. I thought about just grabbing a Red Bull. And then I was like, but I don't really want one. Like, I don't really need one. I'm going to it out of habit or out of like, my old, things that I used to do. So I think that that's important too, to recognize when you actually want something and when you're just going back to it because it's a habit of yours.
yeah. I've done the same thing. I'm a candy grabber at the gas station and at the dollar store. I want to go grab candies. And I've noticed that most of the time it is habit. And I'll have to stop myself and be like, you're not even,
Like,
what
you're
are
not
you
even
doing?
hungry. Like, what are you doing? I know. You're not even tired. Like, why do you need an energy drink? Like, what is wrong with you? Yeah, so that's a big deal. And I think another way, like just looking at something else, I saw somebody talk about like overeating, binge eating, which I said I was a big part of, before for me. Like when you are like figuring out what you're going to eat now, think of things that you will actually want to eat. Like my meal plans are super simple. I eat the same thing for breakfast, I eat the same thing for lunch, and the same thing for dinner for 7 days. I've honestly eaten the same thing for breakfast for almost 4 months now, like 90% of the time, just because I have found something that works for me that I haven't completely despised the taste of. And I am willing to make it on Sundays when I do my meal prep. And that's the thing too, like find recipes you're willing to make. Like I go to frozen broccoli and throw that in the microwave, stick it in my meal prep containers, sprinkle a little cheese on it. Like, don't make it complicated, because I have done that before. I have lived in the complicated world of, let me make the most elaborate, fancy butternut squash. You got to peel the squash out to make your kind of crap. And I am not that person. If you are, congratulations. I'm very happy for you. That is just not me. I cannot do that. My husband and I, neither one, are big fans of cooking. So just make it something that you know you'll eat, that you feel isn't like super difficult for you to prepare. I pan fry chicken tender breasts in olive oil with like salt, pepper, and Cajun seasoning or something of that nature, and call it a day. Like, don't overcomplicate it, I think, is my biggest thing for people when it comes to like what you're eating or what you want to eat.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do overcomplicate it. They start thinking about, can I have this? Am I allowed to have this?
Yeah. Or like, don't think, oh, well, she eats seaweed chips for lunch, like maybe I should too. Girl, I am not going to eat a freaking seaweed chip. Like, that is not going to happen. So set realistic goals for yourself. If you can, awesome. But start out small. Like, even if it's just changing putting a vegetable with your meat, like, that's super simple. I literally eat a meat and a vegetable for lunch and dinner. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I had salmon yesterday, burger tonight, had chicken for lunch. Like, it can be anything. Don't overcomplicate it, I think, is my biggest thing, because I've
And it doesn't have to be expensive either.
no.
Like, eating healthy, we're having green beans and a rotisserie chicken tonight.
Exactly.
I'm feeding my family of 5 on like $10. Like, it does
And
not
if
have
it's
to
just
be.
you, like, say your family's not participating necessarily in like the meal prep aspect or the things that you want to achieve, like, for me alone, for like a week, I can spend $100.
Mm-hmm.
And or even less if I use some stuff I already have on hand. Like, it doesn't have to be super expensive. For me and my husband, it's like $250. It depends on how much we have left over from the week before. So it doesn't have to be crazy, because you think how much, like, I was actually doing math today on how much I spent in Red Bull every day. And I just did, like, say I spent like $4 on one can for a month. It was like $150 or $140,
Wow.
something like that, just on Red Bull. Like, that's my
For
grocery
1 month.
for the week, for the month. And it was a trash drink that actually later, as I've been going through this journey, I found out was affecting my sleep along with other things that I was doing wrong. And I wasn't getting good sleep from it because it was just not good for my body. So, I think that's really important.
That's not good. That's something that my husband's on the journey with me too. He's lost 95 pounds. That I don't do energy drinks. They always made me like sick. I'm really sensitive to stuff. But he drank the Red Bulls and he would drink Monsters and he would do 5-hour energy shots. He was working in the coal mines. He didn't get a lot of sleep. And he was just on go all the time, trying to stay awake. We saved a ton of money. Once he quit the Red Bulls and the 5-hour energy shots, like, it's crazy how much that stuff costs.
Oh yeah, it really adds up. And Nicole, I just saw your comment. I might be a little late to this, but let me just give you a quick breakdown of what I eat in a day just for this week, and you'll see how simple it is really quick. So breakfast, I have 2 scrambled eggs with cheese, 3 turkey sausages. Bam, that's my breakfast. Maybe a banana if I'm feeling extra hungry. Lunch, I have 2 chicken breast tenders that I pan fried in olive oil, whatever seasonings you want, and I had broccoli with cheese on it. Dinner tonight, I am having a burger patty, cheese melted on it, sweet potato fries. That is it. Super simple. And I did have one snack today, and it was a those little Bavita bars. I had the
Those breakfast bar
yeah,
things, like those two.
yeah. I had
One thing that I've found is, because a lot of people will think, oh, I can't have carbs. Carbs is my struggle. I can't have carbs. I don't completely cut out carbs.
no.
I try to have a balanced macro diet. I do eat a lot less processed junk carbs,
It's
but
the
I
type
try
of
to get
carbs.
a lot of veggies. Yes, a lot of veggies, and I save my carbs for dinner with my kids because I know that for breakfast they're usually getting cereal, going to school, that type of thing. My healthy breakfast, I could do me. Lunch, I'm home by myself. Healthy lunch, not a big deal. Dinner time, having a family with kids, I save my carbs for the end. Like, you're having your burger and your sweet potatoes. That's kind of the type of stuff that I have for dinner a lot. We'll do tacos, but I get the Extreme Wellness, I think is the brand.
Yeah,
But it's the tortillas, and they're like way less carb. They have fiber and protein in it.
Yeah.
So it's just a little better option, but I don't say, oh, I can't have
Yeah.
tacos. I can't have carb.
Exactly.
I just find a little healthier option. And maybe don't eat bread at lunch.
Yeah.
But you don't have to deprive yourself. You can have Taco Tuesday. I still have pizza every now and then. Like,
Yeah.
really, you don't have to quit living to live healthier.
Exactly. Hi, Megan. Hi, Josh. Hey, Mama. And yeah, I totally agree. I think that's a big thing. Like, I eat my carbs. I mean, honestly, I kind of balance them a little bit throughout the day. Breakfast, I don't really have a lot of carbs, but definitely lunch, because lunch is the meal that I have before I work out. Like, I don't like to eat right before I work out, or like even an hour before I work out. Like, because I do a lot of like HIIT workouts and weightlifting and walking, or sometimes I'll run in the evenings if it's nice outside. And I'd rather do it on empty stomach than have anything on my stomach personally. So like, it's good to kind of have those carbs for my energy when I'm going in to like burn a bunch of calories, and so that I'm not starving to death when I'm doing those things later on. And then of course, when I'm done, I'm very hungry, but it got me through. I didn't feel like, weak. So
Yeah.
it's about spacing it out, and it's about finding the balance that works for you. So,
Yeah. I think that's something that's really important too. Whenever you are starting your journey, and you can follow people and take their advice, but don't think that you have to do things like exactly like that person.
Yeah.
Take advice from here, there, try it out on yourself, and see what works best for you and how you feel best. I mean, you can't, if you try to stick to a plan that someone else does and it's not for you, sometimes you can get discouraged and feel like that you're not doing well enough yourself. But as long as you're trying and implementing things and finding what works for you, like, kudos to you.
For sure.
Because it's a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. It's sometimes you have to find your groove.
You do. And I'll be completely honest with you. Like, what I don't currently, like, I don't count macros. I don't count calories. I don't do anything like that. I literally just make my meals and eat them. Once again, I don't overthink about it. I think of what I'm doing right now as not like a diet, but it's a lifestyle change. And it's something that I've created for myself that I can sustainably do for the long term, not just to lose 42 more pounds, but to get me to have a healthier life in general. And when I first started, so the first like week that I started in January, I did like write down what I ate, and then I did add up the calories, just because I kind of wanted to see like where I was and then how I was feeling with those calories. And I actually use like a food journal, and it's really great. It's called I'll just let you guys read it. And
I love that. Where did you find that?
Amazon for $8.
Okay, here I go to Amazon.
And I love it because it has like a tracker in the front of all the days you ate. I love the inside because you just like mark your food, your water intake. I got to mark my exercise with it, how long I did it for, whatever. But you see, like the beginning, I marked my carbs, I marked everything just because I wanted to see where I was at. I also like it too because it asks you like how you felt today and what are your goals for tomorrow. And I liked it because it asks you how your sleep was, which I actually was telling you earlier today. Like, I've realized how big of a component sleep is to my weight loss journey.
Yeah.
So I love that. But now if you look at it, like, it's a big difference. I literally just write things down, and I don't do the calories and the macros or anything like that in terms of counting stuff. Just because I know at this point, like, that's what I feel good with, and I'm picking meals that I know are good for me. So I don't try to put too much emphasis on, oh my gosh, I ate 1,800 calories today, I should go run an extra mile, because that's just too much. I try to be as simple as possible for myself in terms of thinking about my food and, what I'm taking in. But it definitely keeps you accountable. this will hold you accountable. And I haven't used it as much lately because I have gotten in a groove, but the first 2 months, solid. Every day. I came in from my walks on my lunch at work and I sat down and I wrote in this every day.
And I really I love journaling. I think that it is super, super important. And I have noticed, like, because I'm an emotional eater, I'm a binger, and I have to watch my triggers.
Yeah.
So I think that journaling is super important for that. Whenever you journal, if you're having a bad week or like you're getting frustrated with what you're doing, you can go back, read your journal, check out what's going on, follow your patterns, see what's like. It took me a while to realize that I was having some hormonal things going on, and like the week before my monthly every month, I would be binging. I'm way hungrier. Depression is like just eating at me that week. Like it's just my hormones are crazy. So, but I didn't know that. I wouldn't have known that if I didn't journal, like figure out what that trigger was that was making me frustrated every month. You know? So I really like that you have a journal, and I love that you shared that journal. That's cool.
Yeah, that's my food journal. So I have a food journal, and I just have like a plain notebook that I like do what you do. Like when I'm having like a really emotional time or I'm like really proud of myself, like I write down in my journal. And I did a really fun activity that I actually got from one of the podcasts that I follow, and I highly, highly recommend it for you guys that are like wanting to figure out how to get started and why you want to get started, which kind of leads us into motivation here in a second. But because everybody's looking for motivation, everybody's looking for that reason to get started and how to get that spark within yourself to like just get up and freaking do the dang thing. And one of the things that I did in the beginning of my journey, it wasn't at the very first start, but within a few weeks, I listened to this podcast and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, such a good idea. What she had us do was just write down our whys. Why do you want to lose weight? Why? What does that mean to you? What is so important about it? How is it going to make you feel? What is it going to do for you? Like, one of my things was because I am an athlete at heart and I am dying to be that athlete again. Like, I loved being physically active and physically fit, and that was a part of who I was, and I lost it. And another thing was because, I wanted to overcome and deal with my insecurities. I wanted to be in pictures with my family and not be completely embarrassed to send a Christmas card out to everyone, and, many, many more things. I mean, I literally have pages and pages of stuff. Some are more personal than others, obviously. And because another thing I just saw, I want to not have to shop in the plus size section all the time. Like, I want to be able to walk into a store and just look around and know that I can buy whatever I want in there because I feel like, that's just something that I miss, I guess.
Yeah.
So just figure out your whys. And I have like 30 of them, and they will change. And I've already rewritten a few of them or added some. But I just think it's so important. Why are you doing this? What is it really for? It can't be for anybody but yourself.
And this is so important to have them wrote down where you can go back and look when you're struggling. Whenever you have no motivation, go back and look at those whys. I see you had yours on Post-it notes. I actually have the mirror in my bedroom Post-it notes.
Yep.
Mine too.
She said, you post it anywhere you want. Post it on your kitchen cabinets by the snack jar. So this is my why. Like, I'm not going to touch the snack because this is my why. So I definitely feel like motivation isn't something that you just like wake up and have one day. Motivation is something that you create for yourself. Motivation is something that you have to put a why behind. Otherwise, it's not going to exist. And you're going to continue to wonder why Karen has motivation and why you don't. Well, Karen made up a reason why, and she did it. And that's what you have to do for yourself.
Good. So true.
I think that's super, super important. So, and another thing that I would say with motivation for me too is like, another thing that's like kept me motivated, even when it's hard, because I have sat in the bathtub and cried and been like, I'm so frustrated. Like, I know I've lost 20 pounds, but I'm still not where I want to be. And I'm so discouraged. I just cry and I'm upset. And I have those days now. Like, I look in the mirror and I'm just like, yeah, you've lost 40 pounds, but you're not where you want to be. Like, you still don't look great, or whatever negative thoughts I might be having at the moment. But I think it's so important to like surround yourself with things that are talking about weight loss or positivity, about self-love. Like, what are you reading? What are you listening to in your podcasts? What are you talking to yourself about when you look in the mirror? Like, I literally consumed myself the first month and a half of this journey with nothing but positive podcasts, nothing but positive readings, to motivate myself and to keep my mind on what I wanted to do, because my mind was like the biggest hurdle, I would say, in getting this far. And I felt like those things still keep me going. Like, even now, because I listen to them consistently, like on my walks or at the gym when I was on the treadmill, like now I can just think of a lot of the advice and the things that I heard, and it's already in my brain. And I am starting to create new habits and new patterns of thought. And I think that's really, really important, because you're not creating just a change for your body, you're creating a change within your mind. Because if you don't, it doesn't matter if you get to 175 pounds, if you haven't changed your mindset, you're going to gain it all back.
Right. It's so true. And I'm a firm believer in the immersing yourself in the community too, videos and things like that.
Who are you following? What groups are you in? Like, that stuff matters.
Yes. Whoever you are following on social media, like everything that you are putting into your vessel is important, and that especially the words, the things that you say to yourself, and just the people that you surround yourself with and allow them to say.
Yeah.
So that's why I really love our support group, because you get surrounded by so many people that are on the same journey. But I'm like you too. I dive into the podcasts and things to keep me focused.
For sure.
Just on my goals. And they say the greatest form of self-love is self-discipline. And so that, listening to those, that kind of keeps me on track.
Yeah.
Loving myself more.
Yeah, for sure. And, I think of self-discipline, and I'm like, that is like such an attribute that I want to show my kids that I have. Like, because most of the people that are watching this or that I've talked to, a lot of you guys are parents, or, you have people that look up to you. Like, you got to set an example. And I just saw my mom said she has to stop being comfortable. Comfort is the place where you go to die, my friends. You have to step out of that comfort zone. Tonight, I pushed myself, and I'm doing like this new workout plan. And I did this workout I've never done before. And it was like a T push-up thing. So you got to do a push-up, and then you go up on your side and you extend your arm. And it was like very difficult, and it was very hard for me. And when you go down on the push-up, you put your whole body on the floor and come back up. And it was very hard, but I pushed through. I did all the sets. Like, you will die in your spot of comfort. You have to step out of that.
Nothing good happens in your comfort zone.
I was comfortable for too long, sitting on my couch, and because I was afraid or because I was scared. I remember one time I've signed up for 1,000 gyms. I feel like, and obviously not that many, but tons. And I went to the gym one time. I just moved to North Carolina. I hadn't been married long. And there was this gym right by my school that I was teaching at. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get this membership here so I can go right after school, right after work. I literally was so overridden with anxiety about what people would think of me at the gym. I wasn't even there 5 minutes and I left.
I've been there before.
Like, absolutely left. Like, and I've done that, and I've bailed, or I'll put in the work and work out really hard, because I was going to this gym called Orange Theory for a little while, but I was not eating right, and I was not seeing any progress. I wasn't doing what needed to be done. And then I just got to a point where I was like, oh, screw working out. Like, it's not helping me, when really it was my fault.
You can't outrun the
putting in all this work.
I did the same thing. I went to a gym and I was doing the workouts, killer workouts. But if you don't eat right, first of all, you won't feel fueled up for your workouts. You will feel, you'll get more tired. You have more muscle fatigue. Um, so, I mean, your diet is super important.
It is.
But you can't outrun the fork. If you go work out and then you go to Burger King afterwards, like, you kind of just defeat the purpose.
Exactly. And I've listened to your other live too, and I heard you guys talking about food rewards, and I just saw Nicole mention something about that. Like, you can't be like, yes, I did this and now I'm gonna get food, which my husband, he was kind of guilty in the fact that when I lost 30 pounds, he did buy me a Krispy Kreme donut.
Girl, my husband does the same. He'll be like, you did so good. I bought you a cheesecake. Like,
what? I mean, and I did eat the donut, but actually, so this is super weird. I thought they tasted terrible. So that was,
you cut that stuff out. It just doesn't.
It just doesn't taste the same. It doesn't do it for me. Like, I've even had a couple, like, he bought me an energy drink the other day. I was like, I don't even want this. And it's like expensive. So,
but I found some really good sweet snacks that I do like when I'm craving sweets. I'll get some fresh fruit. The light Cool Whip, and just put a little light Cool Whip and some fresh fruit, and that is good.
That is for sure. And like even those little Bavita bars that I was talking about earlier, like those are a good like little sweet tooth. They have like the brown sugar and cinnamon. They have like chocolate. They have all kinds of little flavors, and it just kind of gives you a little like sweet to your day. So really too, like you're changing your whole like taste palette, your taste buds as you go through this journey. And there are things that you're going to find you go to eat one day and you're like, ew, like I don't even want that anymore. And I think that that's really a big deal. You can like see the changes in that way too.
Yeah. So. That was something I noticed with pop too. I was a pop drinker. Actually, I like rarely drank water. And then, since I've been on this journey, I've learned how important it really is and how much your body really depends on you to be hydrated. Like the slightest amount of dehydration and all of your organs are not, they start their function. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but their function is just not as good if you're not hydrated good, your whole body. So drinking more water, that was big for me. But once I started drinking more water, and I never focused on I'm going to quit drinking water.
Yeah.
I focused on I'm going to start drinking more water. So I think that's really important too. Whenever you
how you talk to your mind, yourself inside is like super, super important.
Yeah. And once I started focusing on drinking more water, I just never wanted to pop again.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, it doesn't happen overnight, but it will happen if you do it consistently.
It does. And like I would tell myself, like, cause like I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I'm a teacher or I'm this and I work here and there's always trees.
Yeah.
Tell yourself like, I don't want it. Like, and then your mind gets used to saying like, I don't want it, and it's not that I'm cutting it out forever, but like right now I have a goal in mind and that's not going to help me achieve my goal, and that's another thing. I just was looking at something and I was looking at consistency. Everybody's like, how can you be consistent? What do you do to be so consistent? Because consistency literally is why I am where I am. Consistency is literally why everyone that has ever been on a weight loss journey has made success and has made progress. So I think that for me, and I know this might sound silly, I have a planner. Get whatever kind of planner you want, but I love this planner. And what I love about it is it makes me write down my 3 important things for the day. Okay. Walk on lunch break, work out, and then do my live video with you. Like those are my 3 big things that I wrote down for today. And I do it at night before I go to bed. So guess what? I don't look at this thing all day, but because I went ahead and wrote that down and put it in my mind that that's what I'm going to do the next day, I do it. It slowly starts becoming subconsciously ingrained into me because I'm writing it down. I'm telling myself this is what I'm going to do. I also like it too because it asks you, it says, what's something you can do today to make yourself proud? And then it says, what's something that can throw me off track? And I really like that too, because it gets you thinking about how to not look at the problem, but to already have a solution in place when the problem comes up.
I love that.
So
that's a cool planner too.
Yeah. So it's really awesome. And I like write little positive notes to myself all over it. And whatever. And it makes you do like a little gratitude thing, like what's one thing you're grateful for. But I just really like that because it gets your mind right and it gets you focused on what are you going to do. And I think, yeah, and I think the action steps that you take every day are what's going to lead to like the bigger results that you want. It's not going to happen tonight. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but it's going, those little steps every single day. One of the podcasts I follow, she calls them action steps. Those action steps every single day will result in change. And that's why I'm here.
Yep. And you were talking about having your three things. And I think that's really important because if you have the, just your 3 to 5 things that you know you're going to do, you can celebrate yourself. You don't have to celebrate yourself just when you lose weight. Like, celebrate yourself when you go 5 days and you worked out every day, or 5 days and you didn't binge, or like whatever it is for you, wherever you struggle out. Like Steph she can celebrate 5 days of doing her 3 important things every single day. I think it's really important to reward yourself for doing the things that you need to do, for doing the things that are going to bring you results, instead of just rewarding yourself when you have results. Like,
yes,
don't just not just when you lose 10 pounds, but reward yourself when you're doing what you need to do.
It's true, for sure. And once again, like food rewards are not the best.
Not good. We're not dogs.
Something that, like, for example, I bought this little ditty for my water bottle when I go to the gym. It's a bottle caddy. I said, okay, when you lose 30 pounds, because it costs $30, it's like you can buy this bottle caddy. And it like holds my phone, my keys, my mask, and all the little things that I'm like always like picking up when I'm at the gym. So I don't have to carry in my big bag to store everything. And I just have this on there. But like it was a reward for me. And, along the way, I've given myself little rewards like, okay, when I get here, I'm going to buy this water bottle. Or when I get here, I'm going to buy a new outfit. Like last week, I just bought myself a dress because I'm like, and I bought a bathing suit and I'm like, okay, we're going to, reward myself for coming this far, and, different things like that. So just find little things that you can reward yourself with. Or one time I bought myself another Rachel Hollis book because I really enjoy reading what she has to say about stuff. And, you just find what works for you. Just try to not make it food.
Yeah. So true. You got to reward yourself. You got to celebrate yourself. And if you do fall off, don't beat yourself up. Like you have a bad day, the worst thing that you can do is sit and dwell on that for a whole nother day.
Oh yes, because
then you have 2 bad days.
Oh yeah, because I have done that, and I'll do really great for like 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden I'll have like a horrible day. I'll eat everything wrong, and I won't work out for like the weekend or something, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, I might as well just quit.
Yeah.
You know how stupid that sounds? Like, really start thinking about it. You just did something for 2 weeks.
You're gonna one day
over 2 days, you're gonna quit? Like, I didn't gain all 5 pounds back over 2 days, like that didn't happen. So why am I going to and gain it back and gain back more? Because I am being a butthole to myself, basically. Like that's that. And I've done that before. So I just want everybody else that's going through that, like, don't. Yeah. The good that you've done has outweighed the bad. And it always will.
Yep.
It always will. I mean, I have weeks where I might just get a walk in and I don't really do my HIIT workouts or whatever, but I don't quit. I don't stop because that movement is getting me where I want to go. And it's not as like extreme, or I don't feel like I really pushed myself super hard, but I did something. And that's just as important.
Yep.
I'm just making sure I didn't leave anything out. Do you have anything else you can think of, Karen?
Oh my gosh, we've touched on so many good things. Just one other tip, especially with you're on this journey. I think it's really, really important. Like we tell you to immerse yourself in a community and find some support, but at the same time, don't compare yourself to others.
Oh yes,
on the journey. You see someone losing faster than you, it doesn't mean that you're failing. You can't compare yourself to others because you can only be better than you were the day before. Yep. All you can do.
And
You got to focus
everybody's
on
body's
yourself.
different. Everybody's body's
Mhm.
different. Everybody's body's going to lose at different rates. Everybody's doing different things. Like, be happy that you're making progress and that you aren't the girl that sat on the couch last week.
Exactly. Exactly. And take it one step at a time. You don't have to go 0 to 100 in one day.
No.
Find a small baby step. Just take that baby step. Once you've got that step down, go on to the next step.
Like Karen said, like,
And
even
get
if
it
you
done.
start, hey, I'm just going to drink water this week. I'm not going to drink any sugary drinks. Like, bam, goal number 1, you crushed it.
Yeah.
And you just keep moving on and you just keep taking away things. Like, you don't have to submerge yourself in it all at once and jump off the cliff at one time, you know? You can go about it a different way and take baby steps, and you're going to see progress and you're slowly going to feel better. I mean, I think one of the biggest ways that I can like check my progress, and I get a little crazy about it, but on my phone I probably have a million pic collages, because I'm like constantly like, okay, this is where I started at, this, because I have days, you know, like where you feel like you haven't made any progress, and I've lost 40
Yeah.
pounds almost, but I have, but I forget that because I'm human and I'm hard on myself. And so I'll like pull up a picture from when I first started, and then I compare it to today or yesterday, and I'm like, okay, sis, I see you. Like, don't
Yes.
forget, please. Like, and it kind of motivates me again. Like, I see where I've come from, and when you have that light where you see, hey, I've done this. That was me. Um, it really becomes something that you can keep holding on to. And one more
Yeah.
thing to go with that, I want to say before we transition into something else real quick, is I think it's so important to love who you are every step of the way, from the beginning, from the point where you decide to start and make a change. Like, love yourself, tell yourself you love yourself, convince yourself if you have to, because sometimes it takes that when you've been in a state of depression and self, you know, loathing and lack of confidence for a long time. And because that girl has to carry you to the finish line. So if you don't love her, then she's not going to take you to where you want to go in the end. And I think that that's so important, to just love on yourself a little bit. Tell yourself you're great. You're working hard. You're doing it, because I need you to do it again tomorrow.
And I've seen a quote once that said something like, you can't hate yourself healthier. And I think that's so important too. Sometimes we're so focused on getting that end result, and we just keep hating our body now. And you have to love yourself all the way.
You do. For sure. For sure. Excuse me.
Well, the reason I am on here, Stephanie, we've been friends since I think 7th grade was when we met. We moved from Oregon.
Yep.
And played basketball together. We're friends, like the best of friends, at each other's house every weekend.
For sure.
And so after high school, I got out, had kids. I injured my knee and my back, packed on a ton of weight. I was over 300 pounds, and I was going to have weight loss surgery. But I was scared for surgery because, like Stephanie said, she went to the doctor and had all this blood work done, trying to find a reason besides herself to blame. I did the same thing. I was like, it's got to be my thyroid. Check my thyroid. Like, and they're like, no, everything's good. You're just morbidly obese. Morbidly obese. And that was hard to hear. So I was really depressed, really, really struggling with my life then. And I had got to where I didn't want to come out of the house. It was bad. And so I started the process of weight loss surgery, but I got a flat tire on the way to a weight loss surgery appointment. And I was in West Virginia. The obesity rate is pretty high. The doctor that I was going to, if you miss an appointment, you get scheduled 6 months out because, I mean, they're busy. And so I was like, oh my gosh, 6 more months until I can figure out even the next step for this surgery. I really need this weight off. I'm miserable. Like, what am I going to do? And a friend was like, I had watched her lose 35 pounds, and she had just like became this whole new person. She really inspired me. And she was like, here, try these supplements. Like, you have nothing to lose. You can't go back to the doctor for 6 more months. Just what do you have to do? Give it a go. So I started them. Started taking the supplements, started feeling better. First of all, my depression and anxiety got a lot better. I was out walking, feeling good, playing with my kids, and I lost 80 pounds. Just taking the supplements, making small changes. I never went and did like a strict diet. I literally just small changes, step at a time, like me and Stephanie were talking about, and I lost 80 pounds. Um, and my husband joined me. He lost 95 pounds. We started just sharing with everybody because it really did help me so much. Just with feeling better, like my moods increased once I started taking it, helped with cravings. So it just really helped me get my mindset right. Like, I needed something to give me some hope because I had tried doing it on my own. I had tried, I was counting calories, I was walking every day. With the knee injury, it was awful because my knee would just snap out of place all the time. So I got really frustrated with trying to work out. Like, my body just, it couldn't handle the extra weight. And like Stephanie said, she's an athlete at heart. So am I. That's how we ended up getting so close. We're both athletes at heart. And it's really frustrating when like, I want to play basketball with my kids and I would feel like I could do a thing because I used to rock it or whatever, and then I couldn't move a certain way, and you just feel like, oh my God, I can't even make my body do that. Like, got me down. So, but starting the supplements really just helped me give me that motivation and the boost that I needed. And losing 80 pounds changed my life. My kids have their mom back.
Yeah.
And I've become really passionate about sharing it.
Yeah.
So Stephanie had been watching me. She seen my post. She eventually gave the supplements a try.
Did. And
I'll let you talk. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, I'll be honest, like Karen and her husband, which I went to high school with him too, like seeing, I think, real life people taking these supplements is what really got my like interest sparked. Because, like, you see like the other supplements on TV, and I'm like, well, I don't know that ripped girl that's taken whatever that they're advertising on TV. Like, okay,
fitness model that looks like she never
real.
needed to
Okay,
lose
like
count.
Jamie Decker for South Beach Diet, guys, that's such a fluke. So let's just move on from that. So yeah, seeing like a real person, real people that I knew, that I had like a friendship with at one point in my life, like a really close friendship with, I'm like, okay, like this is legit. And I'll be honest, I tried it 2 different times before this time, and I never stuck it out. Like, I never took them consistently more than like a week or 2. And so like I would start to see a little bit of a difference, and then I would just quit. I would quit on myself. And this time, I last year I bought like a 6-month supply. I might have used like a month of it maybe, and once again, it was not consistent. It did not, it didn't. I didn't really see any results because of me. I wasn't consistent with anything, and when I made the pledge to myself in January, I was 251 pounds, the biggest I've ever been. Even when I was pregnant, I wasn't that big. And I gained 70 pounds with my pregnancy with my first daughter. So it was a lot. It was very defeating to see that number on the scale for sure. But I had those supplements on hand, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make the changes for me, and I'm going to take these again. I'm going to really give them the try that they deserve. And I'll be honest, that's why I don't need an energy drink anymore. And I get more sustainable, real energy than ever. Like, on the weekends, I used to just lay around on the couch. All weekend I cleaned. I was doing something. I was moving around. Like, I couldn't just sit down. I don't even want to use my couch anymore. Like,
I get so much done.
It's a big
the
difference.
energy is one of my favorite parts because, well, like I mentioned earlier, I never could really drink energy drinks or even coffee and stuff like that before. It makes me nauseous and jittery. And actually, all the diet things, products and stuff that I tried before, it did the same thing. So that's kind of why I felt so hopeless.
I remember I took a thermogenic one time when I was like avidly running and working out and stuff, and it made my heart feel like it was going to explode. Like, don't get me wrong, I ran farther and faster than I've ever ran in my life that day. But I felt like I was literally, my heart was going to implode in my chest. And with these supplements, I definitely don't have any negative side effects. If anything, it's more of like, I feel better than I've ever felt before, and my overall health is better. Like, I don't crave a bunch of food. Like, I have like a threshold, like a stopping point now that I've never had before. And, like you were talking about earlier, I did. Like, I was like, oh, I must be this, I must be that. Let me just make sure that I don't have these things. Because, thyroidism does run in my family. And I was just hoping for that to be the answer, but it wasn't. And when I started taking accountability for that, I really started to realize that I had to do something myself. And I wasn't a good mom. Like, I looked back at the mom I was with my first daughter, because they're 6 years apart between Maddie and Erilyn. And I was like a great mom. Like, I was active. We played outside. We rode bikes. We did this. We did that. With Erilyn, like, I was just laying on the couch. I didn't want to get up. And don't get me wrong, a lot of that was stemmed from losing custody of Maddie. And that hit me hard for a lot of years. I mean, it still hits me hard now, but I found a way to cope with it. And then I didn't know how. And so I just fell apart and tried counseling. I tried Zoloft. I went to therapists. I mean, I've done a lot. And I finally was able to take hold of that. And honestly, don't get me wrong, I have down days. I have crappy days. I have days I want to cry. But I would not say that I am overall depressed anymore. And I'm not taking anything but these supplements. And I think that's huge. Huge.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in today's age, like, we've all been through some type of trauma. We've all been through some type of issues. Like, we all have some type of depression or weight that we're carrying with us. And finding something that can help you deal with that is huge. And I wasn't sleeping well either. I sleep like a baby now. I make sleep a priority. Like, it, and it's all goes back to that one thing. Yeah, I'm putting in the work, but I wouldn't be able to put in the work without the energy that I get from those things, from the supplements.
And so many people will say, well, if you're eating good and you're working out, aren't you going to lose weight anyways without the help of supplements?
I probably would have lost like 20 pounds by now instead of almost 40.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
It's
they
just
really do.
And I know what it is. It's all natural. It's healthy. It's not anything. I'm not putting formaldehyde in my body or God knows what from GNC. No offense to some stuff, but some of it's a little sketch. And like, it's overall changed how I see weight and how I see reaching my goals. So
it's been a game changer for me too.
Yeah.
And we have an awesome group that Stephanie can add you to. You want to tell them about the group?
So once again, back to kind of like the whole thing of submerging yourself into, things like that. I can drop you any links to anything, but our support group that we have for those supplements is super, super great. People from all walks of life, people that aren't even really working out or doing anything at all, are seeing great success with this. If that's your problem, you just don't know how you're going to fit it all in. This can boost you to a level of being able to feel like you can do more. And I think that's really huge. So if you want in that group just to see other people's testimonies, just to get support, just to ask questions, hey, what do you guys do for this or that? Or what workouts are you doing? Whatever. We are here to support you and empower you. And, it's really great.
Help you out. There's no pressure at all to buy anything in the group.
Nope.
If you see something and you're like, hey, I'm curious about that, be happy to give you information and help you, but there's no pressure to buy anything.
Not about
you have a lot of fun in there. Have fitness challenges every month and water drinking challenges
and free giveaways for stuff.
Yeah, lots of prizes and giveaways. It's a really great group full of support and really amazing people.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us for an hour. And I want to thank you guys for spending your Tuesday night with us. And thank you so much, Karen, for kind of pushing me out of my comfort zone to even do this live in the first place. I was kind of a little nervous about it.
A little bit. Okay, the first one is the scariest. But thanks for having me on. I had fun. I really enjoyed sitting and just chatting about our journeys and giving some
different
tips.
Face-to-face versus, texting and stuff.
And we have to do it again because it was fun.
Love you, Beck.
Hey, Rebecca. Love you and miss you.
But yeah, guys, shoot me any questions you have. Send me a message if you want to join our group. I'm just here for you, and I'm cheering for you. All right, everybody, have a great night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.